Now my channel, I like to talk about things that it's not really on YouTube, or things that are not even popular. That is something that I wanted to do. The topic that I am going to talk about, it's something is very deep, that most men and women, or girl and boy, will hide this and would not share about this. Why I'm fascinated about this is because I got accepted in Bachelor of Social Work, and I have to deal with a lot of social problem. And this social problem that I wanted to address, it's not really a big social problem, and it's getting it's getting fascinating just to know each day about it, and which is called rape. Now I know that word rape comes to your head is like really disturbing thing, because we go watch the news and we get to hear that sort of stories. But I wanted to dig down. Alright, what causes this? Alright, I'm pretty sure some of us have a strong self-control, or sometimes we just don't have the control. And I'm pretty sure guys and girls have that moment at some stage. Alright, and I've spoken to one of my just newly good friend, Chris, who's studying psychology, and we wanted to discuss about this. And I wanted to know more about the female side. Do they have triggers like that? Because all you hear on the news is just men rape this on the park, or man raped this on the bus, or man did this on that and then killed, or murdered. So I felt like we should dig down even a lot more to figure out, like, do women also have this feeling as well? Now I'm pretty sure you go through YouTube right now, you say, oh, you know, I'm pretty sure you went through, what does a guy what does guy like about a girl from the periods? And obviously you guys know, just sexy, makeup, or this and that, just from appearance. Alright, I'm not saying other things like that. And women as well, it's just like, well, they're like, the smell of the man, the posture of the man, all as well, the clothes they're wearing, and especially the shoes as well, which I don't get it, why shoes. It seems like if a guy is very, it's like dating back to the man cave age, he's tough, he's buff, his posture is big, his chest is out, he has muscles and everything, he runs the whole tribe. But today it feels like, shoes, posture, smell, things like that. Maybe some of them are kind of linked to it, but shoes, I don't know about shoes. So yeah, let's keep it about it. So I spoke to Chris about, there's this issue that nobody talks about, and I'm pretty sure none of the YouTube talks about this as well, is men and women's trigger. Alright, so sometimes we do, when I mean by trigger, I don't mean by like, oh, bad, like just reminds them of bad stuff or this and that. What I mean by trigger is like, I'm pretty sure all of us will have this at some point in their life, alright? And I've encountered this a few times already, and I always ask myself at the end of the day, what is going on in my mind, alright? But I can imagine how rapists would go through this whole thing and just couldn't have the self-control at that moment of time. It's just that what I'm trying to say is a trigger. I know it's a sensitive topic, so I wanted to explain a bit more, so you guys don't feel like, oh, we always think about rape. So when a man has that aura in their mind, or has the vision in their mind, wanting to have physical intimacy on that moment, like very, very high aroused moment. They just couldn't control it the whole day. Right? It's just that you want it straight away. Okay? I don't know how is this triggered. I don't know how is this gonna work. I felt like this is a very, very a topic that everyone should talk about, because it's getting to a stage that social problems is going hitting a rise up, and you know, nobody fully aware of rape. It can be other situation. I'm just saying in a very, very everyone has that sort of thing. I'm not saying the ones that is already hit on the news, but what I'm trying to say is sometimes at that point you just wanted to just grab it and do it. At that point, I don't know how it aroused or things like that. And I've spoken to Jess, and I'll be upfront with her, because she's the type of person that she can talk real serious and she has the answer. And I asked her, do girls have trigger as well? And I was amazed what's coming out of her mouth. And she said, Will, women will never talk about this. Do you know why 50 Shades of Grey is one of the most popular book, best-selling book in today, right? And I said to her, well, I've read the first book, and I don't know, maybe you girls like a guy, like a good-looking guy, a bit, you know, according to the book. I'm not saying he's a billionaire or anything. So a billionaire guy, he owns a company, and he dresses nice, smells nice at the same time. But why, and it's about BDSM, introducing BDSM, but why does that book, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of book out there has BDSM or erotica book, or sexual book. I don't know what is that category. I'm sorry, guys. Why 50 Shades of Grey hit the worldwide best-selling? And she said to me, well, since you read the book, you know, Anastasia, is that her name? Oh gosh. And Grey, they met because she took over her friend's job interview, or just one of the interviews, and then they just caught up and you know, talk about, you know, like, and after that just vanilla sex and butt plugs and all of them, yada yada yada. So it's about that. But why is that book is popular? Like, I get it, like, you know, it's a sexual fantasize. And, you know, she's like, yeah, it's girls fantasize a guy who does that. And I was like, oh, so blindfold a girl and just do crazy stuff to a girl. And she's like, yeah. But there's one deeper one that the book would never tell you. And it tells a lot about a girl's secret that they really wanted a guy. There's a reason why this book is a top-selling book. And I said to her, okay, that sounds interesting. So it's more than a BDSM, it's more than vanilla sex, it's more than butt plugs. Okay, what can that be? Well, when I read through the depth information about Grey, Anastasia described about this guy, oh, his shirt, his buttons, the laundry powder, the silky smooth of the shirt. It sounds really detailed about the shirts and stuff like that. Use his tie, just, I think, cover his eyes or cover her mouth so she can't speak while doing sexual intercourse. And I was like, okay, alright, so Chris, I give up. You know, nothing rings a bell alarm on this book. Please, tell me. And she said to me, well, Will, when you say guys have trigger that wanted to get on with that girl at that moment, girls have trigger, but she said it's a lot less than guys, okay? They wish that man can rape her. And I was like, whoa. So you wish that trigger man will rape you. And I took a step back and I was like, that is interesting just to hear that. Like, so the book, it can be a BDSM, be fantasized being hit or doing some stuff, don't know what's the name, and being rape. And then she said, well, Will, you have to look back through the ancestors. Like, humans have already stored these DNA genes are being raped. As long women's civilization went through, men was at that stage of going and wanted to rape women. So it was, back then, it was in our genes and ancestors of the rape culture. And if you try to puzzle that into the world's problem right now, and they'll say a lot of women wouldn't report the rape incident to the police. It can be afraid or shame or things like that. I'm not going to say how much percentage, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure they felt that moment that I don't want to say they should be raped, but that man that they triggered raped her. I'm not saying I encourage rape. I'm trying to say is like, I'm trying to puzzle things up. That's the reason why I'm trying to make this video. Try to have a better understanding, because if I don't understand too much, then oh boy, there's a lot of problem that we need to understand a bit more, because this problem is all of us. At some point, I'm not saying every single day, all the single time. If you don't have it, then maybe you haven't encountered it yet. Just feel that trigger, that rape trigger. I hope this video doesn't offend anyone. I just wanted to, you know, just want to dig more. I don't know where I'm going to find more information about this, but I thank you, Chris, for sharing her thoughts of the girl's trigger side, and I share my main trigger on to her. And that conversation, it was just mind-blowing just to know that. It just makes sense, like, you know, like 50 Shades of Grey just went ballistically top selling. So the dark secret of a girl is not BDSM, is to be, I'm sorry to say that word, but I hope people don't really hate this video. What I'm trying to say is I wanted to dig more information, because I am gonna gain this sector, have some knowledge. I'm not saying full knowledge. So yeah, I'm gonna get into social work. So yeah, I got no hate. I'm not encouraging rape culture at all. No, not at all. I just want to figure out both opposite sides of trigger, and